GSL SuperTournament Season 1.
This beat, man, that's the sound of that zealot in the last game coming to get those probes, man.
Yeah, for real.
His feet booming on the ground, his probes flee in every direction. So Zest managed to overcome Classic. It was a close series, though. Zest coming out 3 wins to Classic's 2. Now we've got Rogue versus Bunny. And let's not forget, Bunny, I mean, last year was really, I think, the best year we had for him. He's really improved.
Yeah.
This is a guy who was, for the most part, in the shadows of the other pro gamers in GSL, right? It was somebody that, you know, we were certainly never surprised that he would be in a GSL. He's a good player, but he wasn't a guy you look at and think, maybe this guy can win the whole thing. But you know, Bunny's been on a steady road of improvement. I think he's really honed his style.
Yeah.
The issue, though, is he's going up against Rogue, and Rogue is easily, you know, 3 or 4 greatest players of all time.
He is the greatest.
Yeah.
Like, he has the most accomplishments, and not just in StarCraft 2, but in MapleStory also.
Yes, in MapleStory, he dominates.
He dominates. But look, yeah, Bunny has improved so much, and like, honestly, in my opinion, he's the guy that's kind of closest to Maru right now. Like,
he seems to have the most promise as Terrans after Maru.
Yeah, it's a very strange thing because it took a really long time.
Right.
So eventually you give up on someone like this, bridging that gap. But in my opinion, I think I don't think it's very far off to say he might be the second best Terran in the whole world.
Yeah.
We'll see what he does here against Rogue, though, because as you say, like, Rogue is, I mean, if Rogue's in a tournament, you have to assume he's going to win it.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue is always a safe bet. Yeah. If you were a betting man and wanted to be the most conservative of bets, you would just always put your money on Rogue.
Look,
you know?
if Fifth Tanner comes to this year and wants an almanac,
I'm
just going to write Rogue on a sticky note and give it to him.
I love that, man. The sports almanac goes back in time when he's got so much money.
It's a great way to do it.
Remember when Biff threw the basketball on the roof with the kids? That was epic, dude. That's when I actually decided I wanted this guy to win.
Yeah, he's the greatest.
We're going to be hopping into this game shortly. We move pretty quickly here in Super Tournament. Rogue versus Bunny, man. My heart says Bunny, but my mind says Rogue.
Well, I have a cold black heart, Tesa, so both my brain and my heart are saying Rogue.
And anybody whose brain is saying Bunny, it's not a good brain, man.
Look, the more tournaments Rogue wins, the easier my life becomes, because I don't even have to argue anymore that he's the greatest of all time.
All right, guys, we're ready. Game 1, let's go.
Game start.
Game start. Game start.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming.
Hey,
Rogue.
shit. Yeah, that's like a very dark Saran wrap.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that just because the creep was there? Let's see as
It's
it goes
got to
over
be because
to
of the
CC.
creep. Now, will the Terran Command Center fit in the whole cutout of the overlay?
Team NV.
Perfectly.
Bunny.
The way it comes off, it doesn't come up to come off, it just kind of comes
Look,
off.
the dog
That
is
doesn't
trying to
look right.
mine minerals. You see that?
Oh, man. He wants to be a cleaning robot, man. He wants to block some Reapers.
This dog over here with the Zerg, he's got to be careful, man. He's going to become an infested dog. Infested dog, dude.
Dog.
Because that's what the Zerg did, man, is they just took different species and infested them. But you never think about, what about like an infested cat, like a Zerg cat?
Well, they probably...
Infested sheep?
It would make sense to infest every life form you come across than just decide, right?
Yeah.
So probably everything has been infested at this point.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Infested llama.
Infested llama.
Infested sloth.
That
Imagine
thing-
a Zerg sloth.
A Zerg, yeah, it's the queen off creep. Infested llama has like Broodlord range for its spitting attacks.
That's right.
It just doesn't do much damage.
It's like that's just a Hydralisk, just to be clear.
That was a llama, Texas.
Yeah. Oh, it's good to be back casting, man. This is this weird part of the year for us. I guess you didn't really experience it as much as I did because I was in the U.S. for my holiday trip. But man, the downtime where we don't cast, then when we finally get to come back to the studio and start up again.
Well, this was so much quicker this time because I was just casting with State like the other day. It feels like almost. Yeah. Normally it's actually like 2 months of no casting, but this was like a month-ish.
Yeah, it's true
for me. So it wasn't actually that long. But still, I feel good to be back. sometimes, you know, I'm like sitting at home and like, yeah, I stream like every day, but that doesn't feel the same as coming here. When I come here, I'm like, I have value in society.
Yeah.
When I play Brood War on my computer, not so much, Tasteless. I'm like, my mom still judges me.
Meanwhile, what was long since I casted? 3 months? Something like that?
Long time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the train here. I'm just worried I won't remember the names of all the units in the game. Like,
what's the name of the Banshee speed upgrade again, Tasteless?
That's right. I have to hand in my caster card right now.
Hyperflight Rotors, Tasteless! Do you even play this game?
Did you know it's not really called the Zealot Legs upgrade? Stupid caster. So we've got a third base coming down now for Rogue.
Yeah, looks like this could end up being Banshee. Let's see. Starport is on the way. Making that right next to it. The Tech Lab. A little patrol and Marine, so Overlord can't come in for free.
Yeah, a bit of a slow game here. We're waiting for that Starport to finish up. And, you know, when it comes to Rogue, I mean, obviously he's not doing anything pretty crazy right now. This is a very textbook, you know, Zerg opening right now, just expanding and getting into development. But the thing that makes him so crazy is, like, when Rogue does commit to something, it always seems to work, and it almost always looks like there's no way you could stop it. You know, whether he's doing some kind of a night assault in, or he's just gonna, you know, play a game in what looks like this one here, where he's probably just going to outgrow the Terran and stop every push until eventually it's his turn to counterattack.
Yeah. Well, that's why he's so good, right? It's because it does look like you can't stop it, because most people cannot stop it.
So the Lings try to block, but they're just annihilated in the process. The drones now being pulled away here. So far, 3 have fallen, but there's so many in the main, and I don't see the splitting looking that good right now for Rogue so far. 5 now going down.
I gotta tell you, this is 100 times better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
At least 100 times
Well, you know,
better.
very often when you see people commit with Hellions on a 3-base Zerg, a lot of times it's like never going to work out, because
that's just catch them and you lose them, you have no map control.
Yeah, not only that, but it's like one of the only things Terran can even try to do, so all the Zergs are so good at making sure that that doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you only have to be ready for 1 or 2 things, and one of them is like a Hellion run by, usually you shut it down. Now the Banshee comes in, cloaking is about 5 seconds out, but already the Queens deflect that, and spores are coming here, so.
You know, I'm really happy for Bunny that you got 11 drones there. It's like
That's
really high quality, but here's what I'm really afraid of.
Yeah.
Can I be a total Debbie Downer?
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to be a total Debbie Downer here for 1 second, Tasteless. Here's what I'm afraid of, is that Rogue squeezes this game out, and then we're like, he's not going to get 11 drones next game.
Yeah. What happens if he doesn't mess up at the start of the game?
Yeah. It's like, oh no! Bunny, run! Oh. But the Banshee's flying around. No damage yet. I mean, Rogue got his spores up very quickly there. Baneling Nest on the way, as well as that layer. We'll see if he wants to go Mutas, if he wants to go Hydras, if he's just going to focus heavily on Ling Bane.
So the Queen is healed up here. 2 Banshees on the periphery here. I don't know if they're going to get any drones. We saw one of those drones in the back, but that gets moved up to the right side of the mineral patch. The double Evo chamber coming down here, and the Baneling's Nest, just to make sure that when Terran does push, he can crank out a couple Banelings and try to deny that as well.
Yeah, I wonder if it is just going to be Ling Bane. We'll see if he throws down like a macro hatchery or anything like that. But yeah, we have some medevacs on the way. See Shanks being produced. We'll see if Bunny is going to try to put any pressure on. He is floating at that 3rd. All right, Baneling speed, double Evos. Surely that'll be for melee and Carapace. But will we see another tech building? We should be seeing it any second if he's going to.
There's Bunny. He's just waiting for one more tank to put in that medevac so he can push out.
Yeah.
That's how we know it's him, man.
That's how we know.
That's how we know it's truly him. The day that Bunny pushes with his tanks and they're not in the medevac, I run down there and cut his arm and green slime comes out, all right? He's a body snatcher. He's not the real Bunny.
Yeah, so it is kind of looking like it's going to be a Ling Bane Queen type defense here.
Yeah.
Now, a couple tanks coming out. Baneling speed, of course, not done quite yet. Drops those 2 tanks just on the edge of the creep here. Scanning and getting rid of a lot of these creep tumors right off the bat. This is some good pressure coming out.
Yeah, now the creep is very close to the tank, so I mean, he's going to have a pretty easy run to get up there, but so far the range control is pretty good. I'm worried though for Bunny. I mean, this is a lot of Banelings that just hatched. That means that 1-1 does finish here for the Terran.
He's trying to wait for Baneling speed, but it seems like he can't quite do it. Arcade gets up around those C-Chinks very, very quickly. The Baneling's not really going to do it.
This is actually really bad. I mean, he doesn't even kill that second tank, and now, you know, with that overextension, you can see Bunny's just going to sink his teeth in. GG, Bunny takes game 1.
That's what we want to see right there. Gets those 11 drones, and Rogue tries to get into the pure lane Bane defense. His economy obviously not where he wanted it at.
Right.
And unable to hold. His Baneling speed not quite quick enough, and Bunny just, you know, driving the stake through his heart there. Vampire Rogue
through his black heart.
Yeah. So, a good win from Bunny, and I'm actually relieved because I do get scared of that when I see like one of the best players in the world lose a bunch of drones in the beginning and still win. I'm like, the rest of this series is going to be bad.
Yeah.
But hey, that was a smash from Bunny. So who knows?
Played very well.
Who knows?
Blackburn. Now, again, I think we can chalk a lot of that up to the pretty insane damage that the Hellions did. We don't normally have games, especially with Rogue, where like that happens. But I mean, Bunny had a very clean push. Rogue had to make a tough call. Does he sack the hatchery? Does he wait for Baneling speed? Didn't work out. Let's see if Bunny can do it again here as we go into game 2. As we game start.
Let's game start.
Let's game start.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Rogue. Team NV, Bunny.
Based on our theme of Saran Wrap for the season, Tasteless, I do have a question. I want you to answer it seriously.
I'm only serious, okay?
Are you a Saran Wrap guy? Are you a Tupperware guy? Or are you a I just put it into the fridge in the bowl with nothing on it guy? Or a Ziploc bag guy? That's a guy too.
I am a Tupperware / Ziploc bag guy.
Okay. I'm a Ziploc bag guy. My wife wants me to be a Tupperware guy.
You're a Ziploc bag guy.
Yeah, everything goes in a Ziploc bag.
Everything,
dude.
Like pasta and
soup.
No,
I am not kidding. I am not kidding you.
Oh, there's something wrong with you. This is crazy.
Tasteless.
You put soup in a Ziploc bag?
Next time you come over my house, I'm going to show you a Tupperware. I'm going to be like, find the lid. I'll give you $1,000. My wife seems to think you can find the Tupperware lids in our house. Can't be done. Can't be done. Soup goes in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah, I put my cheese in a Ziploc bag. I do that.
Hey, so I literally put everything in a Ziploc bag. When I go on an airplane nowadays, I put socks in a Ziploc bag.
Wow.
And I'm talking real Ziploc, not fake Ziploc. Ziploc are the only guys who know how to make these things that actually connect.
Where the colors change, so you know they're there?
Absolutely.
But haven't you ever put soup in a Ziploc bag and then it spills into the fridge?
No.
No,
I close it all the way.
You never worried that, I don't know, refrigerator fairies are going to go in there and open that?
You only live once, bro. Just put your soup in a Ziploc bag.
It's pretty
and
YOLO,
be done
I
with
will
it.
say this. It's pretty YOLO, dude.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Tupperware guy myself.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, I don't really keep leftovers that often.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you just eat all the food or you throw it away?
I just throw it away. Sometimes I'll keep pizza, like, you know.
Oh, well, pizza can be left out anywhere.
Yeah, pizza.
You can put pizza
I've certainly had pizza
anywhere.
that I've just, like, had left over the next day, and I'm like, this is probably just fine.
Dude,
I'll just eat another
the
slice
pizza
of this.
box is on the floor. My dog is walking on. I'm like, yeah, no, it's still good. It's fine. Has one little puppy paw print on
That's
it. You
fine.
can eat it.
By the way, for Bunny, we have a command center over here at the gold base.
Yeah, look at that.
For a split second, when we were talking about, you know, how we keep our food in our fridge, I was like, is Rogue the red Terran player on the right? This feels like you should have a Zerg that, you know, that'd be doing this. I don't think I've casted a game where the Terran is doing this against the Zerg. But I'll tell you what, I don't think this is something that Rogue is factoring in. And so if he doesn't detect this, he's going to have no idea of what the trajectory of the game is going to be like for Bunny. This could just throw him off.
Yeah, it is super tricky to make an on-location third CC at the gold base. It's like you don't ever really see that. Like a quick third CC with a factory, yeah, absolutely. That's like a very common build. But to build it on location at gold, if Rogue
finds
has no
it,
idea,
he can just kill it. But it is this kind of gamble.
Well, the
where,
window is actually, I think it's gone. Like Hellions are out. I don't think he can kill it anymore.
That's the thing. Is this almost feels like it's one of like the early Wings of Liberty games where it's like everybody just tries to take these gold bases and it became almost too predictable, you know, and then it was like the whole meta was like hard countering that. Well, now Bunny's done this, and I just don't think that Rogue is, for all the things that Rogue is able to factor in, he might not even be thinking about this.
Okay, do you see this Marauder he's making? Why would you make a Marauder right here, do you think? Because normally you only see a Marauder made this early if you're going to do a Hellbat push. I think he's going to show the Overlord the Marauder.
Oh, you think okay, so he
and
wants
then we're
to
going to see like a Spine start and like 2 more Queens.
Yeah, he's trying to telegraph some kind of a timing attack when it's not coming.
Milk's going to be coming out of his nose as he starts sending all his SCVs to the gold base stasis.
That's right.
LOL.
He's going to be laughing so hard he can't breathe.
Okay, he has the Viking. Where is the Marauder? I want to see the Marauder. What are we doing with that Marauder? He's... Burrow. Okay, no, he cancels. What are we doing, Burrow? What are we doing, Burrow?
Oh, dude, he doesn't actually see it still.
No, not yet.
Oh, no. I think he does.
Oh,
I think he actually peeked it. He sent these Lings all the way around, and these Hellions are in the wrong spot.
Dude, I don't know where that Marauder went, man. It's gone.
You hallucinated it.
I guess. Yeah, maybe he started because he was afraid Roaches may come, and then they didn't, so he canceled. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, the Lings killing off a few SCVs is nice.
Yeah.
Only get 2, though.
Yeah, he's going to lock these Lings over here into the natural, and the cat's out of the bag now. He knows about the gold base. The question is, how is Rogue going to react to this? Yeah, he needs to get some more SCVs over here, though. Okay, he's going to send some back. Occupying it is not enough, Artosis.
No. All right, here we go. Really starting to mine from it now. And there are some Lings being made, but those might be more defensive. Like, he can run around and see if he can get some harassment done. But it looks like the Hellions going to the north here will kind of cover that a little bit, because that's a more likely way for Rogue to go. Okay, he starts ranged attack.
Yeah.
So it looks like this is going to be a Roach Ravager type push, perhaps. Something we have seen him use on the map before. Oh, the Lings do shimmy by.
Kind of a funny setup here. He has one tank with nothing protecting it, so the tank's just going to die, which is unfortunate, because even getting a tank alone with Lings is certainly worth it.
Absolutely.
The plan was to kill the SCVs, but shooting down one tank is actually great. A lot of times, games are basically decided by if you have enough tanks to set up a position to where,
especially games where they go on Roach.
Yeah, where the splash could stack up long enough to, to make it impossible for the Zerg to win the engagement. But pretty good kill there. Now, Rogue's taking the gold base of his own, and we haven't really seen that kind of explosion in growth just yet with production here from Bunny, but I think with all these barracks finishing, it's coming.
Well, those Roaches are being pumped out. 1-1 is going to be finishing. And the army supply of Rogue is starting to pop up. Hey, what do we have? Do we only have 1 tank now? Maybe 2? The thing is, I guess, if this attack comes, if you see it come... Oh, he's going Nidus, of course. That's so Rogue.
Yeah, that's a very Rogue move there. And he's got an Overlord just adjacent to the main base down there at the bottom, so he's probably going to shoot the Nidus, right up there, which is caution. It's actually a warning about that.
Yeah.
That Nidus coming. It's some foreshadowing there on the map.
Now look at this. Look at how he's walking up here with this army. This is going to draw a lot of army up to the gold base. Bam! Nidus in your main.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason why we don't see Terrans jump to a gold base very quickly. It's because the race does struggle once you get too spread out, right? Terran are very functional when they're compact. There's that Marauder you were talking about, Artosis. He was there all along.
Well, I wish he was down to the left.
He's going to go warn the others about the Nidus, man.
Yeah, look at this. Okay, another Nidus gets started. Here. He targets it down rather quickly. He has these Marauders in here.
Yeah, and he just needs to actually, target fire this stuff down here. The Nidus is about to finish, and I don't think the second Nidus is going to be killed in time. Meanwhile, this attack is completely smashed with the Corrosive Biles actually connecting for once in a StarCraft 2 game. And I think we're just going to see this game fizzle out. I think Rogue's got this.
Dude, you missed it. When when he looked back and saw the Biles wrecked his army, he did a silent Vincent van Gogh scream. I kid you not. Someone needs to go back and screen capture that.
Yeah. It's so funny. So now the gold base is gone. There's another Nidus over here near the top center. That's going to be a good launching pad for more attacks over here in the north.
Dude, that went as poorly as it could, the way that his bio got cleaned up by those Biles. Bunny's trying to hold on here. He does have a lot of Marauders. Rogue, though, on a solid 4-base economy.
Okay, another Nidus comes here right when the SCV wanted to have that depot made. Another push up here, and I think the siege tank is going to shell down that Nidus before it can really do anything. The question is, does Bunny actually have enough to push through here? It seems like he's pushed into a situation that he can't win. Well,
he'll push this back for now. I mean, he does have a very strong amount of Marauders in there, so it's a little bit hard as you start to scale up those army sizes. He has similar army supply to Rogue, who's on Roach Ravager, so that's, I mean, your army is higher quality for sure.
Whoa. What?
What?
He just shot his own tank.
Are you sure it wasn't a Zerg tank?
Could have been an infested tank. I didn't think about
possibly.
that. He's faking a drop up here, but I don't know what this is really going to do because there's not another position that Bunny can run into to try to take advantage of this.
Might be part scout, or he draws the units up there. So
yeah, this actually answers my question. I didn't see this other set of.
Oh, he's got 4 spores. Look at that.
Yeah, that's going to tear up those medevacs. He'll still be able to unload some if he commits, but probably not enough to where the medevacs are all going to live through it.
It's kind of funny to see because how often do we see like 1 spore on the side, and that's when you know they're going to lose their main?
Right.
But 4 spores.
Okay, Lings are coming down. They're immediately chased away.
Bunny continuing to try to push forward here. Yeah, I mean, the Infestors are out, so Fungal plus Bile can come up pretty quickly here.
Oh my god, big catch there. And some of those Fungals do connect.
Oh, yeah, this is starting to go Rogue's way a bit, but Bunny still has a pretty sizable army here. Unfortunately,
not anymore, I think.
Yeah, not quite enough.
Yeah, he just sledgehammers that down. Reinforcements come up. They're moving through that slow zone. Rogue immediately pulls away. And keep in mind how massively different the supply is here. Even when it seems like, you know, Bunny might be close to winning this, you have to realize there's got to be so much more in production here for Rogue.
Yeah, his income is super low compared to Rogue's here.
And, you know, I don't know about this whole play for Bunny trying to end the game when, you know, clearly Rogue's on a gold base. He's got way more of the map. I think, if anything, it would be better for Bunny to basically try to drag the game out, cut it in half, and then win the resource fight in the long run.
I don't know how he would win in any circumstance.
Yeah,
though. It's
I mean,
like
it's a pretty...
Every situation is so bad. Like, now we're going to have Lurkers out and Vipers, which is where Rogue, if anything, gets stronger.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, it's just, I think he lost too much of his army when that Nidus came into his main. He was actually,
I think so.
He was dealing okay with the Nidus. It's just his screen was on the right place to stop the Biles from destroying his army.
Yeah, it was not an efficient trade whatsoever.
Ravagers are not meant to destroy your entire army, you know?
Yeah.
That was more efficient than Lurkers doing
Well, I mean, I think they're designed to be like, you know, to counter siege tanks and stuff like that. But when you actually have Biles connecting on clumps of Marines and Marauders, it's a very different story. Now, he's got a pretty big unload over here on the ramp, and he can control this area pretty well, bottlenecking that, cutting off anything that's going to try to come in here and wipe this out.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. The Vipers are starting to come up here now. Here come the Infestors, Lurkers as well. Down goes the Fungal. Yeah, it's just not enough of anything really. Rogue going to be able to take this game.
GG, that's it. Rogue takes that game. We're tied up 1-1. And that's more in line with what I was expecting the series to look like. It's games like that. I do want to praise Bunny, though, for trying that gold-based strat out. That's a cool idea.
It was a cool idea.
And
honestly, like, if those Biles hadn't connected on his army, like, some of those pushes he was doing that were, like, somewhat questionable, imagine if he had, like, 20 more supply there.
Yeah.
That he probably breaks his back.
It's a weird game because he got the gold base and he was mining from it, but he didn't quite protect it well enough. He didn't seem to get...
It's hard. It's so far out there.
Well, again, I mean, this is why we don't see Terrans do that very often.
Yeah.
Terran is a race that the more spread out they get, the harder the game gets for them. You know, between having the siege tanks set up, wall-ins coming up and down. I don't know. It's not like Zerg where you can actually have the whole map and be very functional, you know, with the creep highways and everything else. So I like what Bunny tried to do, but Rogue is not the player to do that against. I mean, he's too refined. He's too solid in every aspect of his play. We're going to go to map 3 now and see who's going to take the lead.
Game start.
Game start.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Rogue. Team NV. Bunny.
So what you're saying, Tasteless, is Terran needs creep.
Yeah, I don't get why Terran don't have creep that could spread around the map.
Well, we already tried that on this plan. It's called roads, and it actually just causes more traffic and makes everything slower.
Hey, did you ever play Warcraft 1, like the first one?
I think I watched my friend play at his house, but I really started on Warcraft 2.
Yeah, I started on Warcraft 2 in my RTS.
The answer is I think I didn't actually ever play Warcraft 1.
I remember I was so into Warcraft 2, man. Like before StarCraft, I was like just
the greatest thing ever.
It was like such a good game. I couldn't even believe that this game existed. It was so perfect.
Yeah.
And then I went and bought Warcraft 1, and in Warcraft 1 you could make roads. That was one of the things you could do in the game.
What did they do for you?
I think they sped up your movement. I didn't like it. I did not want to make roads. It actually, for some reason, really
they gave you too much vision, and you could react everywhere too quickly, right? You knew even back then. Right?
Yeah, spreading my road tumors.
Oh, that's interesting. Let's revisit that 20 years later.
I couldn't get into Warcraft 1. You could only select, I think 4 units at a time.
4?
Yeah, it was 4 units at a time. Then Warcraft 2, I think it was, how many could you select? Wasn't it like 8
maybe?
8, I think.
I can't recall exactly, but probably.
Or something like that. And then in StarCraft, it's 12. Wait, it's 12, right? Or 10? How many units can you select StarCraft 1? No, StarCraft 1.
It's 12.
12, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And what they should have done with StarCraft 2 is made it 14. I mean, we just keep having Blizzard RTS, we get a little bit more.
24 units?
Yeah.
Hey. You know, people joke about that, but actually there's something to the way games play, not being able to select everything on one hotkey.
I actually like that a lot. Yeah.
There is something there that makes the battles more interesting. It's like all these F2. It's like F2, and then you have your entire army wherever you want it. It's like, yes, you are a pro gamer. Congratulations.
By the way, there's some lings looping around here at the bottom. And I'm not sure what his plans are with these. But we've got the third base coming up now for Rogue.
Yeah, I wonder what those are for.
Yeah, I don't know if he was looking for maybe a starport or something like that.
Maybe he's waiting for the speed to finish and just try to run him in and see what he can scout. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, it's possible that you're not going to be ready for something like this.
Gonna go after some SCVs. Well, okay, gets one and cancels a gas, I guess. That's
something, yeah.
Look how unafraid he is. He's just standing there. It's like, yeah, fine.
And so we're going to have to wait a little bit here for Rogue as he continues to develop over here. A Roach Warren's coming down now.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, Bunny doesn't even lift his depots even when he only has 1 Marine. He sees the 4 Speedlings. If I see Rogue Speedlings, I probably lift my command center and click at the top left. I'm like, ah! He's coming! All right, so it looks like a BC rush coming out of Bunny here.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Rogue has any idea about this, because even seeing your opponent taking a gas their natural this early, that's like a little bit... Like, maybe you're looking at that and thinking, there's definitely a lot of tech going on.
Yeah, I'm curious about how well the BC Rush is going to work against Rogue. You know, we've said it many times over, but it's worth repeating. I mean, you know, the BC Rush generally is very strong because you're basically it's not a hard move to pull off to do a lot of damage to the Zerg and then basically save the battlecruiser. You know, it's so tanky.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's actually got a second starport here, so that's oh, it's going to be Banshee first.
Well, I think he just scouted that this is in fact going to be a rush, and like obviously you have got to build anything you can right now because there are roaches on the way. So the Banshee's going to help out against that a lot. We see games that are like this pretty often where the roaches and the lings and the ravagers are going to do a lot. Bunny will live because he's getting these flying units, but can he do enough counter damage with them?
Yeah, that's going to be the issue, is that this attack is going to be activated before the battlecruiser is even out.
But the fact that he's pulling up his ramp already and already making bunkers, I tell you, I kind of think Bunny's good here, right? Like, he's about to have a Banshee out. He's going to have 3 bunkers. That's a lot of vials. And obviously, you're going to target these Ravagers immediately.
Yeah. And once he can get rid of the Ravagers, it's going to be pretty good. But he does manage to take down that entrance. Now, the bunkers are going to finish here. I don't see enough SCVs around to actually save the bunkers. That's the issue. He wasn't able to repair that. And this is the point where the damage is really going to compound.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, he's utilizing choke points really well here. The Zerglings are not getting good surface area, and he actually blinks across the map immediately with this BC. So he is looking for that counter damage right this second.
Yeah, now there's queens already prepared over here. He is going to get that one queen, no transfuse, in his back pocket to try to save that. Now targeting some of these drones. Keep in mind that there's been 19 SCVs killed. So this battlecruiser has to do that and more in order for a road to recovery to be set up here. Again, the natural's not mining here. I'm worried that, you know, Bunny is now limping into his strategy when it might already be too late.
Yeah, it's a bad situation. Like, Rogue just had enough queens here and started his spores immediately. So the BC doesn't get what he wants done. He did hold on.
I mean, 6 drones is not enough, and the battlecruiser's already taken enough damage, and now it's isolated in this nook.
Yeah, he has to jump it home, and that means he's going to have to fly it back out.
Yeah, so that's going to be lost time. That warp is a resource of its own as well. You know, you want to try to utilize that as well as you can, and right now, he can't pair that with the other battlecruiser just yet. And I think this is smooth sailing here for Rogue, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks pretty good for him. He's getting the Spire, which I think is really flexible here as well.
I think it's a good idea.
Another BC does jump in now. And he has those 2 starports, but obviously with his economy this bruised, he can't do as much with it as he was hoping. So he has 2 battlecruisers against an incoming Spire. He does have his 3rd CC coming along, so like maybe long-term he can kind of grind his SCV count back up. But I'm not even sure what the idea is here. Like, he's even going into bio behind it, which is okay. People do that sometimes. It is more popular going to mech, but this game doesn't look like one where you could do that anyways.
Yeah. And I mean, he's trying to do what he can here with this. I mean, I think that, you know, the story was kind of told when the you know, Lings and Roaches and Ravagers actually penetrated the base. We're at 69 workers versus 40. So, I mean, Rogue is eons ahead here.
Yeah, look at all those queens hunting down this battlecruiser as well.
Yeah. It's not going to get away either.
Oh. Painful.
And, you know, one thing about the battlecruiser play is you really cannot lose the battlecruisers.
It's so painful.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of these things where, like, that's the big investment, and the only way that this really works out is if you're repeatedly dishing out damage.
Well, they're supposed to give you value like all game, basically.
Yeah, and so when you lose them, especially, like, you know, now there's one battlecruiser attacking here and not 2, and, you know, the longer the game goes on and the more of a lead that Rogue gets here, you know, the easier it is to deal with this. Now, that's a pretty big win forcing a cancel.
Yeah.
The BC does do damage faster than the hatchery can actually build itself. So,
but is he even going to be able to stop these mutas? There's a lot of mutas out.
That's the issue, I think, right? Is that the mutas can just immediately kill the battlecruiser, and then from there you end up in a very healthy position.
I think he's going to see the mutas in just about GG because, like, even this push he's doing, it doesn't really have much of a shot.
No.
Like, there's enough mutas and queens that he should be able to kill this so quickly. Okay, Bunny trying to evacuate the area.
So he's actually pulling back. These medevacs with tanks in them have been flirting with death for the last minute. These mutas are so close.
know,
Every time I'm watching, I'm like, is he going to just lose those? But so far, he's been okay. Now, the mutas are going to go ahead and reveal themselves here. And, you know, there's not really that much defense for the mutas themselves. Everything's kind of spread out. He can snipe the tank up here on the high ground and then look for new targets.
Yeah, look at this. He is just running through this main base, killing these add-ons as they're being made. There are a few missile turrets up, but he's just going to ignore them for now. Flying right through.
And with Rogue having a double expo now, he's going to be up to 5 bases. I don't know if this is necessarily going to be a game where it's Rogue trying to hold off the Terran's attacks. I think pretty soon it's going to be a reversal of that. It's going to be the Terran trying to just keep a 3rd base, with Zerg just trying to stomp that out and end the game.
Well, maybe he can hold the 3rd. He's got like his tanks in good position. He's got a lot of missile turrets. He's building a lot more, and he's got his bio turtled up. But when that's the case, you're not putting any pressure on, and Rogue can kind of just go to however many drones he wants, make whatever he wants. He's got to be very efficient against these mutas.
Right.
I feel like if the mutas really cause any problems here, you're not going to be able to deal with the next part of his plan.
Yeah, he takes out both these turrets here. And again, he's generating a lot of threats in the main, which is going to force more of an investment. Oh my god. Wait, what just happened here?
Just rolled in some banes.
Yeah, okay. I'm like, what is going on? Takes out 13 more SCVs. Rogue beginning to look like he's playing with his food.
Well, he's up at 85 workers. He's got 5 bases. He's basically maxed out, getting plenty of upgrades, pumping out a ton of lings. Bunny sending out a medevac.
And again, I feel like this is just a matter of time. You know, very soon here. Yeah, I mean, very soon Rogue is going to have the opportunity to just actually end the game. He's basically like ticking off a few more boxes till he has everything that he needs to just be completely relentless on the map. But, you know, the harass has been good. Unfortunately, I think a lot of this, again, just goes back to that Roach Ravager attack with the Lings. You know, Bunny had a cool idea, but Rogue basically countered the idea before it came out. And then when it was Bunny's turn to try something, it didn't work. Bane's just going to be connecting on to tanks because that's the confidence levels that we have right now for Rogue.
Yeah.
The Muta's now going to come in here and try to target down the SCVs. Now, I got to say, that might have been a little bit too reckless there by Rogue. Like, he's still way, way ahead, but, you know.
I think the Mutas did enough at the 4th that even if the 3rd base trade was not all that great, it's like, it's fine. Especially when you look at this income disparity, it's like 3,500 minerals per minute for Rogue, whereas it's like 2,100 for Bunny.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is going to be attributable to mules, which means it's not going to last. That's tough, right? He can trade like very inefficiently here and still be ahead.
And Rogue is double expanding again.
Yeah, he's up to about 90 drones.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the engine this guy is going to have economically is just going to be, you know, something so hard to contend with. 2-2 does finish up here for Bunny. You know, the Muta's basically making the battle cruiser much less effective in the long run. I mean, it's coming in here and maybe killing some drones and warping back home. We do have a Widow Mine drop coming up here. There's a chance that Rogue doesn't see this with all that's going on the map. At this point in time, he has vision of like 80% of the map. Like, it's actually crazy if you look at the mini map closely here.
If we turn off Bunny's vision, you guys won't even notice.
The medevac gets shot down with ease. 2 more medevacs coming up here, but Lings are en route to try to meet them.
Yeah, it's Bunny has maxed out, so you got to give him some kudos there, right? So he has his actual army is very, very good.
He's done all that he can. I think, you know, the issue...
It's in God's hands now.
It's in God's hands now, Artosis. I think the issue really is that it's the ability to remax is what Rogue has. Rogue's pockets are now so deep that he can take a completely inefficient fight and then make the entire army in the snap of a finger, you know?
Yeah. Oh, here comes the Ling Bane. A good spread here from Bunny running back. I mean, you can't get much less efficient than that, right?
Yeah,
like he kills 2 tanks for just about everything, but he just holds his finger down on that Z key, and
yeah,
we are refilling. 2-2 is almost done. Ultralisk Cavern is coming out as well. You know, things went terribly wrong for Bunny at the beginning of this, but he's not putting up the worst fight.
Oh my God, that battlecruiser got away. Yeah, I mean, he's putting up a fight. I'm still thinking about that joke that if we turned off Bunny's vision, we wouldn't even notice. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much that Rogue would have to hack and slash his, I'm sorry, Bunny would have to hack and slash his way through to even get to.
Yeah.
You know, anything of significance here for Rogue. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if we see Rogue like expand again to the lower right, that other base there.
He can pop a Nidus in Bunny's main and expand there if he wants.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
he is just.
I think seeing the Banes go on the planetary really highlights the disparity within income here. Is he's got so much money. I mean, you know, sending Banes onto a planetary is not cost efficient at all. But when you have this much money, it doesn't matter. You know.
It's almost, watching Rogue right now, it's like he's playing a sandbox game, non-RTS.
Yeah.
He just gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
It's like, Rogue, why are you, if I were his parent, I'd be like, what are you doing? It's just, he has so much. He has everything. He's dealing so much damage every time. Bunny's sitting here with less than 200 minerals in bank at every moment, trying to get something done. And then Mutas and Lings go over and clean it up.
And I mean, we're just kind of waiting, I mean, to see what Bunny can do. I mean, the only thing I can really think of that is in his corner is that if this game doesn't end and it just goes on and on and on and on and on, Bunny will have more resources on the map that he can still buy. And Rogue has been trading costs inefficiently. But that's the only thing that I see here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he definitely has in mind any from all these bases on his side. But as, like, Lingbane Ultra is starting to come in now, that one BC is still alive, which is kind of cool. He's been a bit of a hero this game.
Yeah, and you can see the moment that Bunny even tries to make any presence on the map, it's immediately swatted down. Now, again, it wasn't the most efficient trade here for Rogue, but he's already maxed out again, and he still has almost 3K minerals. Gas is coming in very quickly as well. Look at this.
Gunning down everything that he can. He's
putting
the effort. Certainly does.
Not stopping Artosis.
And, like, you can see Bunny is playing well. Like, I don't really have complaints in that direction. It's just he took a lot of damage at the beginning of the game. His BC counter didn't do what he was hoping it would.
I'm actually surprised the game went on for as long as it did. I mean, you know, one thing about Rogue is if he doesn't slip up early on, he wins. But if he actually has an effective attack like that, he never loses.
Yeah.
Like, he knows how
There's
to,
no comebacks against Rogue.
Yeah.
You get one try to play a perfect game.
Yeah. You gotta hope you get 4 Hellions into his base and take all his drones out. And even then, it's just a game of chance, Artosis.
Yeah, it feels that way.
That's a huge trophy we got.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Well deserved. Whoever wins that, probably Rogue.
We're gonna go to Glittering Ashes, which is hopefully not what Bunny turns into after Rogue gets into the macro.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, man, let's hop into this game. I mean, I would love to see Bunny take another game off him. It's hard to imagine. You know, we're back here in 2022 and Rogue is still looking unstoppable. That has not changed.
Game starts. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Rogue.
This is a great song.
Team NV, Bunny.
Get your banjos out.
Get your banjos,
banjos
out. Get your boats ready.
Get your boats ready. Get your banjos ready.
We're going to Port Alexander. God.
Do you remember this stuff? I can't remember when this happened last year, but at some point in time, somebody in the studio that works there was like, "Can you explain the get your boats ready thing?" And they were like, "Well, you know, it's like a." It's
like,
port.
it's so stupid you won't.
And then, no, this is literally what happened. Is someone said that, we started explaining it, and Dan just interrupted and said, "You guys should have fired us years ago."
Would have been the right call.
Yeah.
God. All right, we actually have a command center first, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I think at this point in time, Bunny's. It's weird. It's like we started out with this game with Bunny, you know, just getting in there, getting those kills with the Hellions, and then he seems to be trying to kind of almost gamble a little bit, you know, with trying to get an advantage. I mean, he did the command center at the gold base, which wasn't spotted in Rogue One anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
The BC stuff, I guess that's pretty, you know, pretty standard. But
well, it was a 2 starport, so that was a
oh,
little
that's
bit,
right.
that was
I actually almost forgot
yeah.
about that. But in this game, it's going to be command center first.
Yeah, you don't see that often. It's actually like I've seen it a little bit in the last several months.
Yeah.
And I think it's, and I mentioned this last time I saw it as well, where I think it's very nice to see this mixed in occasionally.
Yeah.
Because you need to keep Zerg honest in that way and make sure they aren't just always on hatch first.
Yeah.
Like these percentages are actually things that really do matter long term. Like for a single game, it may not matter and it may feel really silly, but for like long term potential, if this isn't part of the Terran arsenal, it seems wasteful.
Yeah, I agree.
I think overall having this occasionally will bring up win rates.
Stuff like this is really a very like best of 3, best of 5 move for those who are, you know, students of the game. Sometimes you'll see a strategy. This took me a long time to figure out, like when I was really little, like, you know, I was playing StarCraft 1 and watching, you know, Korean, like the OSL and the MSL and all that stuff, is to appreciate that there's like, some of the stuff you see in a tournament, you absolutely shouldn't use if you're laddering. You know what I'm saying?
Which, of course, is why people do it all the time on ladder. If anyone does this against you on the ladder, guys, just call him a clown.
Yeah, where, like, if you're going to try to get, you know, Grandmaster or whatever your goals are, and you're like, I'm just going to make this and hope he doesn't scout me, you know, it's not. It makes much more sense when you have 2 players of unbelievable skill.
Yes.
And, you know, there is a bit of a poker game there with how you can open up, you know, where it's like, well, this guy does play very kind of conservatively, so I'm going to actually take a pretty big risk here and you know, assume he's not going to scout and or attack me. But
totally.
I feel like generally if you're laddering, what you want to do is have like just a small number of builds that you're running until you feel like you've really got that down, and then you try to add another build in there. You know,
that's only if you actually want to be good.
Oh, if you actually want to be good.
Yeah.
If you want to just see the world burn, you know, you can just build cannons too. That's
which is what most people do.
But yeah, and then eventually you've ironed out all your different builds to where you can, you know, get into a situation against a good player and be like, all right, what do I have in my toolkit? All right, I think we're going to try to bring out this one. That's going to give me my best chances, you know.
Well, we have a few Hellions out here.
Where are these gold minerals going on this conveyor belt? There's so many gold minerals. You guys, how much money that would be in StarCraft right now?
It's weird that we don't see people rushing to drop ship to try to harvest those.
That's right. Get down there. Someone's figured out how to stop that conveyor belt. As soon as enough time to just grab the minerals.
You know, if you neural the cleaning bot and send it down there, you get the gold minerals, right?
That's the secret. So we've got the Viking out now just to clear out any overlords, any free kills. There's gold minerals here too. This whole map is just covered in gold minerals.
It's kind of. Here's a question for you, right? Are gold minerals just worth more, or are they lighter so you can carry more as a worker?
I think they're worth more.
Who are you buying things from? It's a time of war for the Confederacy or for Zerg or whatever. Like, you shouldn't actually. Who are you buying?
Yeah, why do the Zerg have to buy
Kerrigan need
stuff?
to make sure that you need to buy? Like, does she need the economy of?
I've never thought
this
of this
hive mind to work correctly. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Well, Zerg should just be able to build everything as long as they have enough food.
Yeah, I guess if it was because they're minerals, right? If like you use the minerals to actually build the stuff, that would make sense. But if I understand correctly, it's just a resource,
SCVs
right?
aren't made out of minerals.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Minerals you can't even kill. I could nuke a mineral 500 times, it doesn't die. The SCV dies to a Zerg.
But if they did make their armor out of minerals, they would be unstoppable. And in fact, I think if the Zerg attack, we need to start making units out of minerals.
We just need to make, we need to make like a giant dome out of minerals to just hide in it.
I'm going to have my command center be made out of minerals, so when they can't even attack it. They're going to have to mine it to try to kill me. I'm not letting it happen, Artosis.
Well, I mean, drones, 90 drones are going to mine out your command center real quick, Tases. Little naked Tases in there as we mine the last minerals that make up his shirt and pants. The poor drone that has to finish that off. My
Yeah, man.
God.
The drone that has to mine my underwear. It's rough, man.
It's taking splash damage the whole time. God, it needs +3 carapace.
We've got the push coming out, and this is a pretty strong one. And this time, our toast is not 2 tanks in the medevacs, it's 3.
How will he ever stop
He'll
it?
never be able to be stopped now.
Yeah, no, this is quick, man. This is 2 base. He's got a lot of units here. Baneling speed has only just started.
And we have Banelings coming, but certainly not enough Banelings if that's all he's got.
All right, here we go. Drops the tanks off in a nice position here on the low ground. Cleaning a lot of the creep. A lot of Banelings being made. Lings coming in for the flank. Oh, he comes down the ramp here. He's going to be able to stop those Lings, I believe.
Yeah.
Good targeting on some of these Banes. The other Bane's stuck behind the Queens.
Oh my God, Rogue messed that up. We might be going to game 5.
Yeah, that was a little bit painful.
Some miscontrol there for
the Queen is
sure.
in the way.
And 2 tanks still there. There's 1 tank that's got like maybe 5 HP down there. And it'll still do 100% damage, man. I mean, this is rough. Now, can the next wave of Banelings come out here and maybe, you know, turn the tide?
Nah, I don't think so. He's like, he has a decent amount of Banes. Baneling's speed is not done yet. He's gonna kill the hatchery.
He's got to just give up the hatch. Losing a queen in the process. Now, there is another hatchery in the top left, and Terran is only on 2 bases. Yeah. So again, this push has to do this and more. So, you know, it's not over yet. I mean, a tough loss there for Rogue. I think he might have still lost the fight even if the Banes were controlled well, but the fact that they were miscontrolled means that, you know, Terran is going to have a lot more. Now, I like the idea of having the Lings to catch the reinforcements here.
Yeah. He actually just killed the 4th base of Rogue as well, or maybe we call that the 5th because of that bottom right base. But Rogue is on 3 base against 2.
Okay, and he's going to come in here. He's going to be able to snipe these tanks. And I don't think this tank will even get a shot off.
Oh, did he cancel Baneling speed? I believe
I don't know what's going on.
He canceled Baneling speed.
GG. All right, game 5, go.
Yeah, I guess he needed the money to try to get him to break it. But I mean, when you're canceling Baneling speed to try to stay alive, guess what, Tasus? You're already dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think, you know, that was the kind of play that Bunny needed to do. I wouldn't even mind seeing him do something like that again. Just power up, have a really clean attack.
No, it was good. And now you kind of put it on Rogue. It's like, hey, I'm even willing to go command center first. Maybe I'll go proxy Rex. Maybe you should go pool first.
Yeah.
But then guess what? I went Reaper expand. Get out.
Yeah.
No, it's not that simple, but.
No, you did it. You solved StarCraft.
I solved it, man.
Yeah. How many atmospheres? 2,000. That's how many. Woo, 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 woo.
Hope you're wearing a suit for that.
Said he got a 1,000 atmospheres map. What are you kidding me?
My submarine's only rated for 1,500 atmospheres.
All right, guys, game 5's up. Let's do this.
Game start. Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Rogue. Team NV. Bunny.
The word Terran looks like it has a boot print on the R, and it made me think of when you said that TY was going to wear these Protoss out as boots.
No, that's right. He's going to wear these kids as his shoes.
Yeah.
He's wearing Protoss players as shoes, man.
So funny.
Now, Rogue, I mean, he almost held that attack. I think Rogue was getting a little bit crazy with how greedy he was. Bunny did pull off the command center first. We can't talk about that one without pointing out the command center first, which is very risky. The risk did pay off. The question is, what is the play now here for Bunny? And that's really what I'm looking at here. There's a chance Rogue does some crazy all-in as well. I mean, he's very good. But that would be probably the biggest plot twist of the start of the Super Tournament is if Bunny beats Rogue.
Well, that would be
crazy.
That would be pretty wild.
To be honest with you, when I looked at our lineup, this was the matchup I was probably the least interested in because I just kind of thought, no, I thought like, yeah, Rogue's probably just going to win here. Even though Bunny's very good, it's like.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always feel that way about Rogue for sure, but with Bunny coming up, the thing is Maru's in such good shape, and then Armani, like, I mean, I say it in a teasing fashion, but he does just go like mass lurker and run up to planetaries and stuff. I'm like,
yeah.
I think that Maru is going to hurt Armani badly tonight. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
But Armani will have his chance to prove me wrong, but we'll see. Okay, so second racks. Cool. Maybe you think it might be like a 2-on-1 type of play, like quick medevacs with stim?
Could be.
I mean, it could end up being like a 3
The thing
racks,
is,
like one of these really heavy bio pressure plays.
I'd be interested if you just played a very normal game too. I don't think you can beat Rogue like that, but maybe.
Yeah, the oh, there's the factory. Yeah, I think it is going to be the quick stim, but yeah, that's one where I don't have a lot of faith in that working for anybody.
Yeah.
Occasionally, it kind of looks okay when people do it, but it's not that popular anymore for a reason.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year to see how Bunny performs overall. Like, he really has basically leveled up every year.
Well, he's,
and, you know, with a...
This is his biggest skill jump we've ever seen.
And, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, it really is this you know, situation where, like, GSL is now so old and so storied. It's kind of interesting to see the players that, you know, for, you know, most of GSL, some of these players have been the dominant ones, and then there's ones that have, you know, barely made a showing, you know, but Bunny's story does excite me, you know, just putting in that much time.
Yeah, there's a few people this year that could have some
real
good
game
showings,
changers, yeah.
Percival obviously is kind of the exciting very new face.
Sure.
Zaun is kind of that middle new face that's exciting.
Right.
Having Classic and Gumiho both back in is like really cool.
That's so cool.
Especially Gumiho, I think. That's like, he's just, so, you know, he literally brought Mech back from the dead against her. So, yeah, it's an exciting year for sure.
I think it's that Overlord.
Not bad.
Roach Warren's almost done.
Okay.
And he's still droning up. Terran isn't going to commit with anything just yet. Again, a slow start here. We're kind of waiting to see.
It's the 2 medevacs he's basically waiting for, and he'll
Yeah.
fly across and try to put pressure on with that. It's interesting that it's going to be Rogue going Roaches here against this, because already, like, when you think about it,
Yeah.
Roaches, what's kind of their weakness is they're a little bit weak against Trops because they aren't that fast. Lings just kind of run around and can get underneath the medevacs before they unload a lot.
Yeah.
Roaches can't do that, so you can... I mean, it seems like, in theory, a good situation for Bunny's build.
Sure.
We'll see if that actually comes into play, though.
Okay, medevacs are now moving out. And, I mean, he's going to probably be able to just drop into the main. We already have a Spore started here. All this timed out pretty nicely by Rogue.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, that he's getting the Spore because of what we were just talking about.
Yeah. So here come those Marines stimming in, gunning down that creep tumor. But I don't think he's got enough to make a dent here, you know? There's too many Roaches and Queens. He's going to try to come into the main, but, oh, the Queen's gone.
Yeah, but the Spore is... I mean, that's
sorry,
quite a deterrent, right? Like, you could unload, but you're basically going to lose a medevac.
At least one medevac. You probably will, you will eventually lose the fight over there. I think you'd almost be feeding into the Zerg if you did that.
Yeah.
So you can see he thought about it, and it's funny how one Spore kind of operates like that. It basically,
against 2 medevacs, it's quite good.
Yeah, it basically guarantees that, you know, first of all, you don't have another option after that. That army is going to be stuck there until it's killed off. There's another medevac up here at the very top, and I don't see a Spore over here at all.
Yeah, he has a mine in there also, so some more potential for some messiness.
And we see the Spore starting now. The mine goes down here. It looks like it's going to connect onto the drones.
Okay.
But again, not that much damage. You know, killing 3 drones, if you keep in mind the cost of the medevac and everything inside of it. You basically need to kill more than the price of that.
All right, gonna bomb into the main base now here. 2 Queens and some Roaches waiting, so this will slow it down enough that he can get other units up here to help.
Oh my God! What? I can't believe that. That made that so worthwhile.
Okay, well, Bunny keeps everything together for now. Rogue is up on 70 drones. Going to be taking a 4th base just now. Infestation Pit on the way. Does have that ranged attack coming.
Okay, another drop coming in here. The Spore is going to shimmy over here to the side. And I don't know that he's going to be able to get this back out. I can't believe that. He actually, once again, pulls that off.
I want to mention what this looks like to me from Rogue, because his build doesn't seem like it's lining up that well. Okay, he puts down the Hydralisk 10. Okay, I was kind of wondering, because it's definitely not like a Roached Ravager timing attack, and then you got the Infestation Pit kind of quick. But I guess he's going to go like basically Roach Queen, maybe a few Ravagers into Quick Lurker, right?
Yeah.
And that, yeah, I think that's totally reasonable. Like, you know, your expansions are a little bit slower with a build like this as Bunny, like your third base, for instance.
Right.
So I think he has time to get up into that, and then like the Roaches, that's a lot of tanking for those Lurkers.
So honestly, this game hasn't been bad for Bunny. I'm actually kind of excited to see where this goes from here on out. It is funny to see him in the final match to prove himself. He's going to play in again, a very standard way. You know, not trying to cut any corners, not trying to have any surprises here. Just wants to try to go head-to-head with Rogue.
Yeah, just trying to keep some pressure on and trying to macro well behind it and all that. Definitely something to laud.
Double Spore here. He's going to try to go by, but there's another Spore up here at the top. He's going to unload. It's kind of funny looking on this one little kind of peninsula-ish part of the main base here. And again, if he keeps the medevacs alive, it's okay.
Yeah, not bad. Viper's on the way now as Hive has finished up. The Lurker Den just finished as well. Second factory coming up for some more Siege Tank production. 2-2 starting. This is kind of interesting. I think obviously the Vipers are going to be really, really key coming up.
Okay, here, this is where the push is actually coming in.
Yeah, he cannot fight that, and he backs up immediately. Cancels that hatchery down.
Definitely good for him to pull away, especially when you have like a Roach Ravager army like this. If you take a fight you shouldn't, you're probably just going to lose the game from there on out.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, with Banelings, you can kind of have a couple chances to try to engage. Corrosive Bile comes down, nuking one tank. There's so many more tanks already here. Is Bunny going to be able to push through here and actually take Rogue out?
Maybe. He does have his Vipers coming down. These are absolutely key in this situation.
But he needs to get them closer if he's going to pull anything off here. And again,
he can always use some Blinding Cloud too, right?
Like, he can, but I'm worried that this arc is going to be too insane here. He does, okay, Harpoon, a couple tanks up here.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bunny was quick enough in the reaction there.
Ooh,
yeah, dude, Bunny's going to win this game.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I can't believe it. And he wins it in a straight-up fashion. Bunny just keeps getting better and better. 2022 could be this guy's year. He's going to start the year off the first day back in the studio, defeating Rogue if this keeps going the way it is.
Oh, Rogue is dead.
Yeah.
You already saw him throw his head back as well. He knew that this was over. Beautifully done by Bunny.
And
brought out a large spread of strategies and build orders.
Yeah, no, I mean, the fact that he even ends it in a straight-up game, head-to-head, classic, Terran push, no surprises, no gotcha moments with, you know, I thought he was doing this. In fact, he's doing something else. He's continuing to come in here and close this out. Rogue seeing if he can find any way to maybe chisel off some of this army to make this more manageable, but all I'm seeing is more reinforcements parading across the map, getting ready to close this game out.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, like that was huge damage to Rogue. Rogue has less workers than his opponent, which has never happened. And he lost that base, he lost a ton of units and all that. But he's on Lurker Viper, and that is the grindiest composition that Zerg has. Like it is the one where you can actually be behind your opponent as far as everything, right? And you can just kind of come back through that. So there is a slight possibility here, but obviously Bunny's position, he's making a ton of tanks. He's stayed aggressive. The economy of Rogue is very weak, and if he can just lean on him a little bit longer, I mean, I think Bunny's going to win, but there is maybe a road back.
Yeah, I mean, okay, dude, big snipes on the Vipers. It's getting worse right now. He's going to come through here, shave down those drones, and he can easily pick up and leave. I don't see any Queens here to try to shoot down the medevacs.
Yeah,
look at that.
losing Vipers like that, where they just stim up and kill them, it's like...
Yeah, trading a couple Marines for 2 Vipers and all the drones that were there, that's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, you really need to make every unit super count in Rogue's position here. And to lose 3 Vipers, that is just utterly painful.
And, I mean, the supply difference is insane. 172 to 132.
The thing is, he needs so many Vipers to be able to hold on. He needs Blinding Clouds, he needs Abducts. Yeah. And, like, losing those, he has 1 Viper right now. Yeah. How are you going to do this?
Man, those 2 Vipers getting sniped after all that is pretty bad. You know, all you need is 1 or 2 tanks to keep shelling the lurkers, and it's like, yeah, man, this is just not going to end well for the Zerg.
And look at that, as soon as he splits those lurkers back, Bunny jumps upon the smaller side. He's going to be able to gun down this expansion.
And, I mean, he's going to harpoon these tanks, but already this hatchery's been destroyed. At this point in time, Terran actually has more in every conceivable sense than the Zerg.
Yeah. Rogue down to 3 bases here. Ghost starting to come out as well. Snipe's going to be ultra useful. Even some EMPs on the Vipers.
I mean, the tanks are going to just keep leapfrogging forward here. Keep in mind, if the Zerg loses his base up here, just north of our screenshot, he's going to be on 2 bases for a little bit until that other one finishes. But I mean, there's a point where, you know, Zerg basically suffocates if they don't have enough resources on the map. I mean, it's why normally in any game we have the Zerg way out expanding the other races, you know, and it's you just trying to, you know, take that out. But we've got the planetary down here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see another command center shortly here over at the 9 o'clock spot on the map.
Yeah. I think we definitely should. Like, Bunny needs to still take this very seriously.
Yeah, no, he just has to play a clean game from here. I mean, he's pretty much done what he needs to do to win. He just has to not screw this up, and I don't think he is going to screw it up. That's the thing.
Well, he's playing it very well. These spreads are really smart.
Yeah,
he's kind of containing him. He's kind of keeping pressure on, making him keep lurkers in certain areas.
And I don't see any Vipers over here to get this. The Ghost goes ahead and snipes some of these lurkers. I mean, I think Rogue's got the right idea by kind of pulling the lurkers just a few, you know, hexes away from where the siege tanks are, but, you know, eventually he's going to have to smash these armies. I mean, I can't even imagine what's going on in Bunny's mind right now. This is like the best possible game he could have. He's playing straight up against Rogue, and it's working. You know, a lot of this goes back to those little drops that he kept pulling off. It didn't seem like very much, but it really does add up over time.
Yeah.
Takes out the gas over here. There's only about 6 more lurkers over here, maybe a little bit more than that, but you know, once the lurkers go down, the hatchery will fall immediately after that. And the problem is that these lurkers that are being killed off, they're not actually trading, they're just being sniped.
That is a huge part of the problem, because he is, like, I guess he technically has a similar amount of mining going on right at the second, but this is not sustainable for Rogue. This is why the Vipers are so important. The lurkers can wreck anything that actually comes into range, but you got to get them into range with the Vipers, right? You got to kind of force these engagements because the lurkers have no mobility, and that is what we do not see happen. He's lost so many Vipers this game. He does have a few Vipers there that we see, but like the fact that he keeps losing Vipers and trying to remake them, and it's not going as planned. Now he did make a Nidus. I mean, that can be a big play, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially with lurkers, you can pop out, obliterate everything, and then go right back and try to defend. But that's going to be a bit of a balancing act too. I mean, this is tough, man. Again, Rogue's not dead yet, but the noose is tightening right now, and you know, it's kind of hard to imagine a game where this is going to work. And the Nidus is spotted ahead of time. He actually has to ditch this. The Ghost can just kill this off now. And I think he's going to pull the trigger. I think he's realized the lurker count's low enough. And I think this may be the killing blow that we're seeing right here.
Yeah, he kills yet another hatchery. This is as bad as it can really get for Rogue. It keeps getting worse and worse, in fact. Like, I guess the Hydra will just kind of walk forward and kill everything, but just barely so. Coming up now and sniping as many lurkers as he possibly can. And Rogue kind of throwing his head around.
Three still alive, actually. almost completely wiped out the defenses there.
And, oh man, EMP's even going off here.
GG,
That's
Bunny
it.
did it. The big upset of the tournament. At least to start, man. How far is he going to go this time around? If you can beat Rogue, dude, you can beat anybody.
Yeah, fantastically done by Bunny. Rogue having a tough time here. He's been underperforming a little bit recently.
Well,
international tournaments and now here at the Super Tournament.
This is the thing, though, man. I mean, Bunny, I love this guy's story. He really put in the hard work. He's been here like forever. Now Rogue is, one of the players that's been, just dominant throughout StarCraft 2, especially here in Legacy. And like, Bunny just never gave up. Every time he came in here, he did bring a little bit of a better version of himself. And here we have him beating Rogue. Who knows how far he's going to go. We have an interview with Bunny now, and then we're going to have a short break and go into the next best of 5.
After an arduous battle that lasted until the 5th game, it is Bunny who defeats Rogue to make it to the round of 8 of the Super Tournament. Congratulations, Bunny. Thank you. Well, last year, you did underperform a bit, but this time you defeated Rogue against the laws and you move on to round of 8. How do you feel? Rogue is a phenomenal player. And recently, playing against Zerg was really hard, so I prepared really hard beforehand. The first game, you showed fast tempo plays to take the win. In the second and the third, you did lose to him twice in a row. But in Blackburn, you were able to take the win with the battle cruiser. So, any disappointments today? Well, in the second third, I had the concept and I knew how to win, but I think I was too nervous and I made trivial mistakes that led to my loss. So I was quite disappointed. But after the game after, I was able to win, so I regained my poise. And before Rogue upgraded his Baneling movement speed, you were able to strike him at the right timing to take the win. Well, in that map, it's really hard for the Zerg to go to the late game. So I did prepare some builds to counter him, and in that game I was able to gain a happy win that really gave me the momentum until the last game. So Bunny against the laws, he defeats Rogue. Talk about last year. In GSL, you actually reached your career high, which was around the 4. So what goal do you have for this year? Well, last year I did have some good records in GSL, and this year I want to be happier than last year. Okay, talking about your next opponent, it is Zest. In Super Tournament last year, you met him in the round of 8, and it was Zest who took the win. So this time around, who do you think is going to win? Well, Zest is a picky player to play against for sure. So 1 year ago, it was before I regained my form. But this year, I think things can be clearly different than last time. So Rogue, who was one of the favorites to win the Super Tournament, he goes down, and it is Bunny who moves on to round of 8. So anything you want to say, Bunny? Well, I'm really relieved and happy to have won today. And really thankful to the fans who cheer for me, and also thankful to the team. Once again, congratulations, Bunny. Thank you.
That's really exciting, man.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, so Bunny's moving on.
Excellent. Up next, Maru versus Armani. Oh, you see Bunny pumping his fists as he
Yeah,
walks
he's happy,
by?
man. Guys, we're going to be right back, and GSL Super Tournament will continue on. See you in a little bit.